here we go again. Time for another game in our Road to Better Chess series. I wonder actually if it's worth putting this light on now as well. I might do that just to see how different it is even with the natural light. And while we do that, let's search. The previous game was an absolute disaster. I did not focus at all and threw the game very early in the middle game and then through the end game as well. It was already bad, but I could have maybe at least put up a bit of a fight. Alright, found the game. We are black. We are playing someone over 2000. That's nice. I'm going to go back to Zen mode. I said I wouldn't, but I honestly just enjoy having the clean layout. Alright, C4, the English. Let's go. Knight F6. And here we can still transpose into something else, so I think I'm just going to go E6. Let's see, our opponent's playing really fast. Now the other knight out, so we might end up playing against something like a D4 opening where they do some castling, some situation like that. So we can put our bishop out here and take and play it like a Nimzo. We can also just take in the center. You know what, let's just go into the center. They allow us to do this, we're going to do it. We don't have to worry about that. I mean, this stops, I think we've played against this. This stops us from doing this, but how much do we really care about that? We can now do this, we can do this. Maybe we just do a small development. We just get our king out of the way, why not? We don't have to make things too complicated. Our opponent's been playing really fast. Alright, they're free and ketoing on the long diagonal as well. That's something to take care of. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna castle. There's not much here that I feel uncomfortable about. We still have to decide what to do with our other bishop, but for now let's just get into the safety. We could even do something like this and force the exchange. I'd love to be able to get these pawns moved up though, so I wonder if we should do this or just here and then bring this guy out this way. We're playing like a semi-Slav structure. Other way over here, this might be a good way to go as well, especially because they're not coming onto the long diagonal, so maybe we do. Yeah, I think that's okay for me. Here, this, let's see. In the meantime, also try and fix this up. Our opponent's playing really fast. Yeah, okay. I mean, they're just making normal moves. We can take now as well. They might take back with their pawn. Then we can do this. If they take with the bishop, we want to tempo. So I think this is okay. It does give them more freedom over here. Maybe we go here first, or we take once and then. If we do this first, they might take. I kind of like taking once and then doing this, because then we get on this file, we cover the e4 square. They come in with D, we can play C. Unsure, hey? Very unsure. Okay, let's just develop. When in doubt, just get that development on the board. Alright. Castle. Here also C5. This looks good. They still haven't played D4. If we can actually stop them from being able to play it at some point, I think that's really good for us. Alright, so I think we're going to continue this way. They're going to get into this square here, but I don't think that matters too much. Otherwise we take once, and then, okay, let's just open up the game a little bit. We've got development done. White has to play d4 at some point. Yeah, there they take now. Now we can take with the pawn or with the A bishop, probably taking with the pawn makes a bit more sense. We get more presence in the center. They can give us some isolated pawn situations here. Otherwise we take with the bishop, or take with the knight, sorry. We can take with the knight as well, like this. Should we be scared of the isolated pawn? I don't think so. Here we can also take, and if they take back with the knight, well, either one is fine, I guess. They take, we take. Kind of like knight takes to, because we don't actually need our e-pawn to move. Maybe knight takes is better. And on D we can actually just take. Probably gonna try and get a knight over to this square as well. Take, and then the knight out. Alright, we're gonna take back with our knight. It's probably pawn takes is better, but I don't really like the structure that comes from it. Alright, now let's have a quick look over here. Oh no! Let's see if we can get this done easily and correctly. That looks correct so far. Yeah. Let's see if this makes a difference. Oh, it does. I like yellow. Yeah, it looks a bit better. Let's keep it on then. Let's keep it on then. We can still take with the pawn. I just don't know what to do after d4. Here we can take. This is very symmetrical. Right now we can take with the queen as well. And after they come here, we can do this. And they have to take with the pawn or the bishop. And then we can do this. I kind of like this actually now. Bishop out here. We can bring our queen to the side. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this, to be honest. Get the queen off the back rank. Just gonna make sure there's no double threat this side. We're both kind of, staring at each other's kings. Our knight can just come over back this way. So we've got more space, but we're actually underdeveloped. They're also a little bit underdeveloped, but I think between the two, the knight not being out is probably worse. We can trade off their light square bishop as well this way, if we feel that's important. Now also we can just do this, and then after they take, we can take back with the knight, and if they take here, we can take here. I was kind of liking this though. If they take with the knight, it's mate. If they take with the pawn, they've got an isolated pawn, and we're going to bring our knights and rooks out, everything. So if they take with the bishop, we can still do this, and yeah, I like this. And here, get our rooks in the game. Yeah, bishop looks good. Now I think here, they've got this square, but as I said, I think this is good for us then. So here, this doesn't work, I think. Because our queen's protected, we literally just take it and move on with life. Yeah, here's the rook coming out. We can hit the rook, don't really know if that matters. We can now oppose their bishop as well. They take, we take, they take, we take. It's very symmetrical. Maybe we just get onto the file. Importantly here, our knight is hanging though, so if we do this and they for instance move the bishop back, we can't move our queen, we have to jump our knight out to retake, so it's still going to be pretty equal. Otherwise here, they can get into this square though, which is a little bit dangerous for us. I think we have to oppose. Well, oppose or we have to block up the file, but I think opposing is fine. Just get our rook in the game. Yeah, so our position is looking good. Only thing is that this knight is hanging, so we've got to be careful. Okay, we were looking at this move though, because here that guy's going to be hanging in some ways. If I go here and they take, opening this up, do I take here? If I go here and they do that, do I just lose a pawn? Yeah, because I can't let them get in here because there's just so many things hanging. Maybe I got to stay on the opposite, the opposing file. Can I get hit here? Not really. If they take there, I take the queen first. Oh, it's the same problem. So I just got to take this way. Alright, I think I have to do this. And then I think I can. No, I think maybe I need a rook over here. Or a pawn up. Yeah, maybe I need a rook over here first. My 7th rank is a little bit of a problem. Alternatively, something like this. This knight is basically the concern, right? Take, my queen hangs, so I have to take here. Then I'm covering this at least. So I can still come in, that's okay. So this probably works as well now. Got this covered. This is obviously covered. I'm expecting him to move the queen somewhere like this, I guess. Yeah. Rook over, rook over. Yeah, my queen's just gonna be in trouble, right? I can do this right away. I can push this bishop back somewhere. And then I can go here. They can hit me. Yeah, I'm just always a little bit in trouble the whole time. Go here and do this. What if I do this? They bring their rook out next, obviously. What if I bring my knight out? They bring their rook out. I'd maybe go sit over here. Or here. Now my queen's a little bit offside, isn't it? I can go all the way back. And like this. Very passive, but I keep a look at this square over here. I do like this idea, but I don't know if it really gives me anything useful. I can oppose their one bishop here. They can try trade it off in this way as well. Yeah, I'm not sure what the right pattern is here. They bring the rook out, take, and then I drop back. If they take first, I take, and then I think this is probably the move then. Just get this bishop onto the main diagonal and oppose their king pressure. Also, really taking care of the e5 square now. Alright, so now my queen has to just basically move out of the way. Just here. I can take first. I can do this, but then they take, then I'm screwed, so I kind of have to do this, or I have to take. If I can take with the knight, then I can't really go, I can go there and there. Maybe I just do this then. Yeah. Yo, this is a very symmetrical looking game. I would say my light square bishop is slightly better than theirs, although they can trade it off over here. Get a rook out. It might be good to try imbalance the position in some way. Push the bishop back. Get on knight somewhere useful. Obviously the other rook probably wants to get over here. We can always make some lift as well. Probably not this way. Although if we take, I guess, then this is not so bad. Yo, a very symmetrical game right now. Trying to eke out some kind of advantage. I would say, yeah, white's got a better position, right? Their knight is better than ours. These guys are kind of same. These guys, maybe mine is slightly better, but they've got a rook over and I don't. Yeah, it takes, I think I literally just take here. They don't have any entry points, so this is just kind of, it has to happen. We can compete on the file. Yeah, making some lift, very standard. So maybe a slightly more aggressive knight makes sense as well. Take here. We can get in here, but I don't know if it helped much. Okay, so these are the only moves that mean anything, I think. And I would say our light square bishop is slightly better than theirs, but hard to really make it matter right now. Take. They have to move a pawn. Okay. We're down on time, so let's rather just catch up a little bit. I don't think there's any great way to make progress here just yet. We probably also want to do the same. Get that lift. Take. We won't take twice though. We'd make them take so that we can get the file. It's like if they take once, we take with the rook. And if they move their rook over, we don't do anything. We make lift. Yeah, here comes the knight over there. We did see that. We can protect that. I mean, this does allow this if we can get our queen onto the file. If we go here, they're probably gonna like take. I can't go there. Here. This guy is getting a bit weak. We can still protect it though. And they're getting here, so maybe we wanna just block up things a little bit. You go here, we go here. You know, you're getting into our space a little bit. That's not comfortable, is it? Otherwise we put our knight on this side, blocking things up. We can take once and here and take again here, and then this pawn falls. So basically they're finding a way to put some pressure on our position. We can oppose the light square bishop, take with our knight and protect things sideways. Very drawish. Just no way to make use of this just yet. Maybe we do this and then here. There's no double threat, unfortunately. Oh, we can have this though, because it attacks. Oh, actually, so here, here, and we go here. They take a pawn. We threaten their queen. And if they take its mate, if they take here, we take back. If they take there, we take the queen with check. And if they take here, we just take like this, and they can jump over and we can protect it. I like this idea. Try and use the fact that we have a slightly better bishop. Here, here, knight can't come in anywhere there, and if you take that pawn, we've got a nice jump. We can get this pawn, we're hitting your queen, we're threatening mate. Your queen can't, oh, your queen can come in here, I guess. So if we go here now, and you do something, and we threaten your queen and you come in here, take, you take, and we take that, and we've got a square to run out of at least. That's maybe good enough. They're also giving us this. I don't know if that matters though, but I think this is just my move here. I'm also looking at that square, and if you bring your knight back, then I don't know. And then maybe I go here so I can get that in. Okay, hang on, I think this might be worth doing. And I'd be happy to trade off this way to just mesh up your pawns a little bit more. I can try attack some again and stuff. This I don't feel too worried about. Yeah, okay, we gotta move. We are miles down on time. Looking for some plan. Our threat is here. Knight f5. We can also make lift at some point if we need to. This actually walks straight into my threat anyway. Oh no, hang, because if you take here, the queen's protecting against mate. So here, here, cry. But you do have a weak pawn at the back now, so what if I just protect, what if I attack that pawn here? That seems like it should be a bit dangerous, shouldn't it? Take, take, this guy is a little bit weak. I can also just take like this, right? So double attacking there. And if you move it, I can check. That doesn't really help me too much. This looks like it was a mistake, but I can't quite prove it just yet. Can I get at that pawn? I can, but my queen might be a bit offside if I'm not careful. Alright, but let's go for it. I'm double attacking this backwards pawn. I also have this square. I also have this. If this rook moves, oh sorry, if this rook moves, I have this, but that rook isn't going to move. You can do this, I guess. Oh, hello. Okay, now I can take here. Then you take back, then I take. I'll just take myself instead. Here, also threatening that. Need to get some loot for our king though, but yeah. We can also take here, because your queen has to take, and then we can take like this. So actually here, here, and we can do this, because after your king takes, we have a fork. Knight back might be a move. Taking our rook is a move. Queen in, just trying to get rid of us, I guess is a move. I don't really want to trade with the pawn advances they've made, though. I feel like there should be some chances for us. But we will see. Although we're also threatening this pawn maybe, although the knight's currently looking after it, but here, here, take here, knight has to move, we can take this one, threaten here, though, I don't know. This also threatens our pawn, so not sure. Yeah, okay, now I guess we get to take and kind of make my plan work. I think so. So take here. And then take here. And we've got this. We're also threatening just to kind of unleash the bishop basically. And you can't really stop us, because if I go here, yeah, now I've got this. Which looks pretty convincing. I'm also I'm also threatening the knight actually, I just realized. Alright, kind of hitting everything. That's a pretty nice tactic, I think. That's a pretty nice tactic. Alright, I think this should be game. We just have to be careful of our back rank, make some lift. Careful that they can't kind of sack for some kind of perpetual. Well, we're going to take this, right? So probably you want to go here. Oh wow, it gets worse, because then I can take this with check again, and then I can still get the rook. Yeah, so now I can do this, and then I can do this. Let's check again, and the rook's still hanging. We just can't move our rook, because we don't have lift yet. That's the only thing we've got to be careful about. So you can block me. Queen being there doesn't really seem to matter too much. Now I can do this. Queen has to come back here, and then this. Or do we do this and have that? Yeah, we do this maybe. And just have this possible. We're up a lot of pawns. We're up 3 pawns and an exchange. So now trading queen sounds fantastic. So if you do something weird like this, we're going to take... And if you run your king up, we can get you in a mate. Otherwise, yeah, I can also go here, I guess. Yeah, actually this works, I think. So here, and we either trade off or we get you like that. I can even do this now. No, I can't. Yeah, I mean this is over, so we're not going to try and be fancy. We're just going to pick up the queen and be up an exchange and multiple pawns. So we're just coming in to take some pawns, take the knight, take something. I don't know where the knight's going, to be honest. Can you protect this one? Not really. But even if we trade off, yeah, okay. Even if we trade off equally, we're still going to be able to get an advantage. All right, GG. That was nice. I gotta say, I was kind of struggling a bit out of the opening, not really knowing what to do. Getting into an incredibly equal position is not something I'm excited about. A little bit unsure what to do in those situations, but it looks like we were able to eke out a slightly imbalanced situation. So let's have a quick look at how the game went here. Yeah, so C4 and D4, I kind of treat them the same because they transpose a lot of the time, but here white just held back on D4 forever. So I play knight f6 anyway, and I play e6 anyway, as if it's a d4 c4 opening, because I play the Nimzo a lot. And then here, I mean, I know this is actually a move as well. I am able to just come take the knight and play the Nimzo, but because it isn't quite that setup, I was a bit uncomfortable. I don't want to run into some complications halfway through, so we're basically playing like a Queen's Gambit declined without d4, right? What other options did I have? I could have played c5 here. Eventually then I have to play d4 though, and then I still have this kind of structure that they can give me hanging pawns or an isolated pawn. Yeah, actually maybe that is a bit of a weakness in my play, that I'm trying to avoid that. Don't think I'm supposed to specifically avoid it. I'm supposed to play the best I can. So anyway, I went here. I'm kind of hoping lottery to just take, and then I can do this and just have this kind of easy structure, but no. Here, this is a move to stop me from being able to push the knight around, because then I have a strong situation. Yeah, still not going to trade that knight, so we just never traded it. Yeah, just very simple. And I don't want to play a semi-Slav, so I'm going to play on this side and then just open things up. It's basically like a Queen's Indian defense versus an English of sorts. I don't know. We have actually got a very similar pawn structure slowly materializing, right? Yeah, just develop c5. c5 and d4 have to be played at some point. Alright, and here I'm probably supposed to just accept an IQP. So take with the pawn, d4, take with the pawn, they take with the knight. And, you know, I oppose the knight. And if you take, I take back, and you've got one less piece that can stop me. And if you don't take, then I can push, probably. Maybe I need one more defender. Yeah, maybe one more. But then eventually maybe just try and liquidate the IQP. Anyway, take with the knight, take with the queen. Not good. I'm sure that this is not best. Probably, again, taking with the pawn was best. Taking with the bishop is maybe like an okay move as well, but yeah. This was... Queen takes was definitely suboptimal. I don't think I'm losing, but this is probably like +1 something. Here's d4, take, they take with the bishop. Take with the bishop, oh yeah, they have to, right? Because otherwise they hang mate, so... Take with the bishop, out comes my knight. And now my queen's just like mega misplaced after the rooks start coming onto the files. The bishop can hit me, if I run sideways, they can open up, take a pawn, and my stupid ass knight is hanging, so... Yeah, here probably, instead of opposing, maybe I'm supposed to do this. The problem is that once they come down here, you know, like there's just too many things hanging. I'm kind of screwed. Like this guy's hanging, so I have to protect it, but then something else comes in maybe, and then my other bishop starts being weak. So I don't know, I didn't like it. So yeah, I'm kind of playing a silly situation. So I did this with my queen. That's definitely not the best. Alright, take. But now we're back into a symmetrical situation after trading off the darks for bishops, and this is probably tiny bit better for me because my bishop is better. They've got a bishop staring at my e-pawn. I've got a bishop on the long diagonal staring at their king and their knight. So this is tiny better for me. It's maybe this is equal, but I would say from a player perspective, maybe this is like minus 0.3, or you know, basically just not white's advantage anymore. Alright, and we didn't make lift. Probably the better move was to make lift, but this seemed fine. We had no concrete dangers, and here we found a nice plan. So they can come around and hit this pawn, and we can protect it in a few different ways. They also get into this square, so probably actually the best is maybe to put the bishop here, because it blocks off this situation and also protects the pawn on the side. I was kind of unsure what I'm supposed to do there. You can push here, but then they jump in. Oh, but then you're hanging a piece for a pawn, so here, and you get a pawn. Okay, but I have an extra extra piece, so that's probably not good. Alright, but I like this plan. I like the fact we're trying to make something happen on the king side. We're bringing our knight in to kind of stop the middle from the game being too open, and we're going to get our queen in and just put some pressure on the opponent. Surprised they didn't play this here. Maybe they just also thought it wasn't worth it because you can't get here and I just push you back and then I push your bishop back even further. Maybe. Maybe they also were just scared about this move. The same as what they've got. So they decided to push their pawn first. This does give me, you know, like an outpost, I guess. If I want it, I don't. Alright, so I'm happy about this move. There's a lot of nice little threats here. Here threatens mate, you can't take, and also threatens to take this pawn because your king's sitting there. Yeah, so f5 probably now white is just worse. After I made my moves, I wondered if I should have just brought my knight back and put it on e4 actually, because it's just clearly a very nice square for a knight. So here, and then they bring in their queen, then maybe I'm supposed to just, you know, try and put the knight there. But anyway, they didn't. They ended up taking my knight, so instead of defending the pawn, I mean, they could have defended it like here or here. Can't push though, because this hangs. So maybe this is why they took the knight, because it's just hard to defend this pawn. If you do this, I mean, I don't have mate, right? So here I hit your rook maybe, and then I can bring my bishop in here. I don't think they had to take the knight, but I'm happy to see it. And here they could have just taken, and I don't have my nice little trick, but instead I do. So I trade on the c file to create this, and then I take with the bishop. You can't take with the king, you have to take with the queen, and then I get in here. I didn't realize that the knight gets hit, but yeah, so here now this is also just... So basically, after this move I think it's unavoidable. If I take this pawn, your king can't go anywhere, and I'm gonna win something, right? So yeah, so here, missing the attack, I think they're losing now. And a little mop up. This is a little bit of like a optimization move, getting the extra pawn. We're clearly winning anyway, but you know, an extra pawn is an extra pawn. And then we take the rook before we check, because I don't want the queen to already be able to block. And we still get the check in because the knight's only blocking this square. And there's absolutely no reason not to trade. We're up too much material to matter. Yeah, and this is GG. Alright, so let's go over to the analysis. Actually, hang on, I should get into Zen mode here. Good game. And then we go into the analysis. And let's look at the Masters database. So this is the English, Anglo-Indian, G6 is main, E5, E6, C5. Yeah, I mean, E6 is a fine move. E4. And then what? C5, D5. Yeah, okay, C5, fair enough. C5 it is. And then on E5 I have to run back. Knight F3, Knight C6. Oh, did I mention I don't like this? And then I can take that middle pawn. And they're getting into my weak square here. I can't just push. Yeah, D6. I can't just push D6 here. Because this is like Sveshnikov, right? I don't want to have them control that square. A6, take, knight out. Alright, fair enough. Maybe I don't like the way this goes. So after E4, knight C6 is a move, but I don't want to put the knight in front of the pawn. That seems a bit silly. Bishop E4, C5. Alright, so D5. E, yeah, hang on, oh, yeah, we've seen stuff like this before. They take, we take, and if they take, we take with check. So yeah, okay, so this is a little bit like the Staunton Cochrane, which is against is it against C5 or is it the same kind of thing? Yeah, Mykonos Carls now. Or is this just called the Mykonos Carls? I thought the Staunton Cochrane is against C5 maybe. I think this is what it is. Here, here, and here. Yeah, okay, a little bit different. Okay, so here we have to go this way. And obviously if they take, we can just take back because we have enough defenders. D5, D4, and then yeah, I don't really play D4, D5, so this is not a structure I normally get. But I guess you're just playing a game. Alright, so our opponent did put us in a little bit of a bind with the opening move order, but this is just, this is just safe. That's really all it is. E5 was a move here as well, because they let us do it. Then you have to put your knight in front of your c pawn. I don't like that. C5 is a move, symmetrical. Yeah, knight c. This is just mega symmetrical. That's also a way we could play in the future, but yeah. E6 just transposes sometimes to some structures we already know. So D, and then here D4 is the main. But anyway, E3, bishop E7, B3, castle. We're playing kind of like the hedgehog main. Bishop E2, C5 is main. Bishop B6 is secondary. That's also fine. And then CXD is what they're supposed to play here, and then we take. The reason for this is because now we've made an extra pawn move to get our bishop out, so now they don't mind so much to give us this diagonal anymore, because we've already kind of made another effort. So castle, c5, yeah, and then CXD, knight XD is, knight XD is best? I actually wonder if knight XD is best. Knight XD is best. Okay, I was so sure that it's probably pawn takes is best, but yeah, so knight takes is best, and then d4 is the main move. Knight x is apparently a massive draw. Rook c1 is apparently pretty good for us. And it's like top Lichess has the same results. d4, knight x is not a draw, but black does better. Okay, cool. So I guess we should be happy to see it. And here again, not taking with the pawn. Alright, taking with the queen is a top move for master level. Wow. Alright, feeling a little bit vindicated. I really thought that was a disaster of a move, but yeah, okay, cool. So take with the queen, and then d4, and then cx. Oh, and then queen x. And this is where the draws come from. And then, yeah, in some way or another you're going to draw some stuff here, so... Yeah, okay, bishop f6 seems to run into a doubled pawn situation, but I guess it doesn't really matter so much. Oh. Okay. Okay, so they were supposed to take with the pawn, with the queen here for the draws. Bishop takes, which they did. Says not so good for top Lichess. Alright, so we're still in top Lichess here. Very nice. I actually don't know. What's my setting here? Over 2000, rapid and classical. This is a rapid game. We are both over 2000, so our game should start showing up here, shouldn't it? But it's not. Anyway, alright, so now knight c6 is what everyone played. Ah, okay, hitting the bishop. Bishop goes back maybe. And then you start bringing your knight in. Oh, this is just a massive draw though. Okay. And in this case, if they played this instead, slightly better for us to go sideways. Yeah, okay, because the knight's protected, right? So the knight on d7 wasn't protected, and that's why it's a kind of bad move. Okay. Yeah, so this wasn't so good, and here we saw all of this. Alright, let's have a quick look at the engine analysis, why don't we? See what it can tell us. Yeah, overall that turned out to be a very clean game, I thought. It felt a little bit uncomfortable at the start, not sure if we were doing the right moves, but yeah, we found a really nice tactic at the end. That f5 was just a little bit too much. Yeah, you can see here, very equal, basically a draw, and then our opponent just one blunder, and all over. Wow, average center pawn loss of 6. I think this is one of the lowest center pawn losses I've ever had. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, yeah. Alright, so here, let's just see what they say about the knight jumping out, roughly. Where's the knight jump? Okay, oh yeah, so we were slightly better. White's opening advantage is gone, that's really it. It's equal, it's all equal, it's all equal, it's all equal, it's all equal. All equal, all equal. Still equal. So f5 itself isn't the problem. It's what they did afterwards. Yeah, so here, -4. Oh, they were supposed to jump their knight in, hitting the rook. Then we take it, they take, we take, they take. And very equal. You know, I immediately wonder if I can get some action on the back rank here. I'll probably go back here to try get there. Maybe I try and get over. I can't. Yeah, it does look like there should be some potential ways to make something happen here, but it seems not. Oh, the line continues. G6, rook over to the back rank. Very symmetrical stuff. Everything gets traded off, and this is a draw, I guess. Slightly better for us, but not enough to make any news. Alright, yeah, so great, now we have an advantage. Take the rook, and then take the pawn, and they're supposed to put queen back. And yeah, I was going to say, in that case, I would probably just take the other pawn. This was also what I would have done here. I was also going to take this way. Yeah, because you're still the same threat, because you're staying on the row, right? Okay, so you're supposed to go back. I take there, king comes out. I mean, this looks very uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't think anyone's excited to be playing this from the white side. You're down 2 pawns, your king's a little bit airy, but now I've kind of curled into a ball here. It's still -4, but... okay. Where's my -4 though? I don't really see the advantage. Or is it just because I can eventually just trade down and be winning? This looks rather silly. I don't know what I'm doing here. Come in anywhere that matters. Alright, so anyway, they didn't see the threat, and yeah, okay. Looks like we played this ending, played the ending without any big problems. It's -6, 7 the whole time. Yep, great stuff. Alright, well, that was nice. It was a little bit of a smoother end than it felt like. The first, up to about here. Yeah, close to move 20, I was quite uncomfortable, to be honest. You can see from the time management. We went down quick. Yeah, when we were playing here just over 20 minutes, we only had a minute left on the clock. So not the best time management, but thankfully we had created a nice imbalance in the position, and it kind of tripped up our opponent. Great, so I think we're going to stop there. The thing I'm going to take away from this is maybe to go look at these symmetrical English positions a little bit more, or just see if there's some other answer I can do to c4, because this is a game that you get sometimes, but I don't like it. So I think I want to try and play a different way, or find another solution to this kind of opening. But I think that's it for now, so thank you very much for everyone who comes past, everyone who came past during the stream or looks at it afterwards. Hope to catch you in the next one. Good luck with your own road to better chess. As always, keep on walking and keep on improving. Bye bye.